Well, today I'm joined by Brian McCann, Managing Director of DFI Beds. Brian, welcome to the podcast studio.
Thank you very much,
How are you today?
I'm good, I can't complain. So
Good. Well, before we begin, I'm going to give a little bit of background on your story and the story of DFI Beds. So DFI Beds is home to Ireland's largest online bedding retailer. With over 20 years in the online bedding business, DFI Beds understand the importance of high quality products and great services at an affordable price. It is a unique business that is direct from manufacturers to customers. This allows total control over the product offering, reducing lead times and offering customers superior quality at a reduced price. Now, every single product they sell has been handmade in Ireland, and their products are made from the finest raw materials. They've been designed by sleep experts, I think I'm one of those, and adjusted to give their customers the best night's sleep, and we all love those. DFI are currently in the process of opening their very first bricks and mortar store, coming very soon to the Keys shopping centre right here in Newry. Brian, why Newry?
Newry is pretty central for our customer base, we thought. We've done a bit of looking around different shopping centres, and every time we come to Newry there's a nice buzz around it. It seems to be the place to be at the moment.
And the place that everybody wants to buy a bed, hopefully.
Let's hope so. That's what we really hope so at this stage.
So I was saying there, you know, you've been Ireland's largest online bedding retailers for over 20 years, but where do you come in and where do you fit into the story? Give us a little bit about your background.
So for years I lived in Australia, worked in the wholesale business, pretty much my whole professional career I've been in wholesale. Came home, 2020 I think it was, maybe before, and got into wholesale food, but didn't like that end of business, I suppose, and moved into this industry. After a few years, I seen that there was a unique market to go direct to the customer. So the idea is offering product more affordable for customers, trying to get that happy medium ground where instead of someone in the middle taking a bit of profit, it's cut down.
I see. So where is home then?
So home for me is Derrylahan. It's a rural townland in County Tyrone, just outside Cull Island. That's where the factory is. It's where I suppose I grew up my whole life. I spent most of my life apart from travelling. Happily married in it now with a young family. So hoping to installing the good of the country in them people.
But you started DFI Beds?
No, I didn't. No.
I was going to say,
No.
So the factory's there now, though?
The factory's there now.
Okay.
So I suppose DFI Beds started, it was 20 years ago odd. It grew, it started from Facebook, online selling, stack them high, sell them cheap. From I've took over, it's been manufacturing probably a middle-end product to try and diverse our product offering, different colours, different styles, building a new website, all with ensuring that there's a 7-day guaranteed delivery time. So.
And how difficult has that been, particularly in recent years?
Yeah, it has been very difficult, but I think a lot of the furnishing people will see the effect COVID had. Containers and whatnot were stopped coming, like most businesses. Getting product was very, very difficult, especially finished product. Sitting on raw materials is a much better place to be. When a customer orders, we make to order. So it's much more valuable to have the finish or the raw materials rather than finished materials sitting in stock.
So talk me through that. So the customer literally, you design the bed, you build the bed to order.
So yeah, we have a full website. It's actually been a new website going live next week. So we're getting a rebrand done currently at the moment. It's all about to go live. We've I'd say maybe 1,000 different products online at the moment.
Wow.
And once a customer picks that bed, our system places an order through to the factory and the guys begin making it. So we don't have any stock sitting on the floor. It's direct order per customer.
DFIbeds.com, same website address.
Yeah.
I'm having a look, and you know you're offering luxury beds and mattresses. How important is a good night's sleep to people?
A good night's sleep's the most important thing for most people in the world. It's essential to get a good night's sleep, to have a good day. As we say, sleep well, live well. It actually means to literally sleep well. You'll wake up in the morning, you'll feel refreshed and you'll be ready to attack the day.
Well, I love my bed, so I would totally agree with that. I find it very hard to get out of my bed, and I can't wait to get back in it in the evening. But, how much do people spend on their bed?
This is the thing. It can range very much so. I know a lot of people think the most expensive mattress is the mattress that you must pick. I would completely disagree with that almost. Find the mattress that's best for you, find the bed that suits your style. We have a lot of different colours. It ranges from starting €229 to €250 for a mattress. Then you're looking at, for a full bed, one of the most expensive beds would be Aaron McGregor's bed, which would be €999, I think it is.
Right, interesting name dropping there, absolutely. We'll come back to that in just a minute. So, they do cost a lot, but you do spend a lot of time in there, so you've got to get it right. What happens with a couple, though, when it comes to mattress quality and whether somebody prefers a softer mattress or somebody else prefers the harder mattress? Is this a problem?
We do find that often it's the woman who makes the decision on beds. Most men are just happy to lie down. Personally, that's the way it is in my house. My wife, Anya, she got the picking of the bed and I just have to accept what's picked. But there is always a happy medium bed, which can suit both parties. Most men don't like too soft a bed. They'll always come in and say they want a firm bed. Women tend to like a soft bed. It's maybe a wee bit generalisation, but it tends to be the findings that we have.
That's so interesting. Now, you did say, though, that you should choose the mattress, that you should test the mattress. How does that work online? That's
why we have our sleep experts online. We know beds. We know beds better than anyone. The guys that we have online are always available to chat. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews at this stage of each of our products. Read those. Those are real people giving real reviews. So if you read through, we have a firmness meter on each bed. That gives you the good basis of how to start. Most people say they want a soft, medium or firm bed. We've got all areas covered. Pick the bed that you like, read a few reviews, and 9.9 times out of 10, we get it right.
Now, why then are you deciding after all this time, I've had an online business, but now we're going to have a bricks and mortar. Most people are going the other way. Yeah. So you've chosen to actually have that physical presence.
It is a sign of confidence for our customers, ultimately. A lot of people still like the in-store visit. Myself personally, I prefer to buy online. That's just maybe my hectic lifestyle where I don't go shopping. But still there is a customer basis who likes to come see, touch the bed. We also know in photographs sometimes it can be very difficult to actually get the right material across. So this is a chance for anyone who wants to call in store, come and meet us, see us. It's there for a reason and we're more than happy. We're not going to be pushing a bed sale on people. We want it to be a unique shop that where you come in, you enjoy yourself. Feel free to leave, to scroll online. There's going to be iPads around the shop that customers can see the actual product online. It is more a touch feel experience.
Now, obviously, customers have a lot of choice now, and, it is a busy marketplace, especially if you can order online too. How would you say DFI Beds stands out from its competitors?
It is a fact we are manufacturing. I think now at the level we're operating, we're the only people in Ireland doing this. I'm sure there's local guys doing this, but we have a state-of-the-art factory. Anyone can go online and see the videos of the process we're doing. We are direct from factory, as I said, cutting out the middleman straight to retailer. That's allowing us to reduce our lead times, reduce our costs, and offer the best service possible.
This podcast is sponsored by Granite Legal Services, a niche business and immigration law practice located in the heart of Newry City. Granite Legal Services provides legal advice to both individuals and companies alike across a wide range of industries, from employment, commercial or corporate law matters to immigration law. Granite Legal Services focuses on providing legally sound, practical advice to its clients. To get in touch, visit www.granitelegalservices.co.uk or contact 028 3026 2200. Now, you have really built this company. You've really invested a lot of blood, sweat and tears and personal time into this. What would you say has been the most challenging part of that journey so far?
It is being on top and staying on top. I know it's maybe a bit of a cliche, but it is very difficult. When you're at the top, everyone wants to take your spot. Sometimes we don't congratulate ourselves enough for what we're doing because it becomes second nature that you just keep going forward. It's sometimes taking that breath to step back and go, okay, we done well there, but it's on to the next challenge. At the moment, it just seems to be constant climbing up the ladder, but that's the way I live my life. It's sometimes maybe on the staff, I have to step back and say, well done on that one.
And how many staff do you have?
We have at the moment 15 on our production floor, 5 drivers and 5 guys in the office. And then we use a lot of consultants who do different aspects of work for us.
And now you'll be opening the doors in Newry too.
Yeah.
So you're providing a lot of employment on the ground in County Tyrone near Killeisland. That must make you proud.
It does. The factory we're in is literally 20 metres, not even from my home house. It was an uncle of mine's factory growing up. So to take it over after the recession, it was closed for many years, and to have it opened and manufacturing makes me very proud. If I walk outside, there's probably someone driving by who I know, so it means a lot of stopping and chatting, but it's brilliant to see in the local area.
And why is it important for you to stay in that local area?
It's where I grew up, I suppose. Growing up, the area I'm from would be a peat processing area traditionally. Growing up, I preferred to work even than going to school. I was that type of person where I'd rather be doing something, and academically I never probably pushed myself overly hard. Whilst I qualified and got all my degrees, it was never my priority. My priority would have been working, just being hands-on, doing something.
So describe growing up there. So were you literally digging peat yourself?
Yeah, I would have been in turning turf, or stooling turf rather, driving a tractor, different things like that. It's just what comes second nature.
And what was home like for you?
Well, my parents were great, but they always were very much. We went out to work from a young age. They were hard-working people, so it was instilled in us. My dad would have drove a lorry and I would have been out with him driving forklifts, different things like that. It's just you worked, and it's probably come second nature to me now that you get up early, you just do your day's work, and there's no such thing as an end time or start time. You just like working.
You mentioned there, obviously, about the recession. You also mentioned that you went to Australia. You, like many other young people from the island of Ireland. When did you go there? At what age and why?
After I graduated, I studied in Liverpool and got a degree in finance and accounting. At that stage, things were pretty bleak around this part of the world. And my partner, Anya, and me decided it was time to go travelling. We left in 2011. And we were there for 6 years. It was just, there wasn't a lot happening in this area, and of course we said we would go travel. We got to Sydney first of all, and we pretty much settled there for 2 years. Lucky I fell in with work. I was an assistant accountant for Lang O'Rourke. Got put on a job with an alliance company. So there was 4 companies working together to build the rails in Sydney. It was a great experience for me. I got to work with 4 different accountants, seeing how to get the same outcome. You can have 4 different programs, working with different people, how it all come together. Was
that your first job using, your degree?
Yeah, that was pretty much the first time. I was very lucky. Friends got me into the job, and it just was a great experience. And there was people that probably never hear from me again, but they brought me on so much. Just different characters. It learnt me a lot working in a big organisation. At that time, our visa was ready to expire, and I got offered a job in Darwin. And now this would have been the most interesting job I've ever had. It was for a management company who were managing outback remote stores. So they were a government-funded company, but we had to look after 33 stores in outback Australia.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, so it's...
How did you get that job?
Just pure... I applied for it, and the recruitment company actually made a bit of a mistake. They rang me and pretty much told me I had the job before the company got in touch with me, so it all worked out very well. But it was a huge move at the time.
So describe Darwin then. I imagine very hot, very dry, very arid, very remote.
Yeah, exactly that. Really hot. 2 seasons, wet season, dry season. Wet season is horrendous. It's just a pure build-up of humidity in the high 90% humidity maybe at times. just you sweated walking out through the door. But then the dry season would come along one morning, and for 3-4 months you had just beautiful weather and no rain and a lot of tourists up. But then it would come back till, so during the winter here we were fighting through wet season, which was
Oh my
horrendous.
goodness.
Yeah.
So you didn't stay there?
No.
Is that because of the climate or the work?
It was more so the climate, and home was always home. We're lucky.
Calling you.
Yeah, we both have our families at home, and we always, me and Anya said we would always come home.
And is Anya from the same part of the world?
Anya's from Belfast, and it was a huge move for her to move up into the country.
And what was she doing then when you were in the accountant's office? That sounded quite nice being in Sydney, but when you were in the outback stores.
So luckily we were based in Darwin, so it would have been flying in on a small helicopter, or not a helicopter, but a small plane, a 2-seater plane possibly, or 3-seater plane, out for a few days, back in. Anya was working for insurance company, Allianz Insurance, so she was quite happy to be in Darwin. Of course, like most people in that part of the world, you can only do it for a certain time with the heat.
So you came home, both of you?
Yeah, we did indeed.
And what happened then?
So I got into one of the food wholesalers. I worked for Musgrave. Now, I think at that point, having done the job I'd done previously and being able to make a real change, it was quite a challenge. It was reporting from an accountant's perspective, but not being actually able to do anything, be hands-on, make a change.
Which you'd had in Darwin?
Yeah, which I'd had. And so I think I lasted a year of that. There was a lot of travelling to Belfast back and forward. It just wasn't for me, and I knew at that time it was time to do something else.
So did Anya come with you to Coal Island?
Anya is now living, she's now part of the Dairyland community.
And is that as remote as some of the places you took her in Australia?
For her, she might think it is anyway. But she's now fitting into the community after telling her maybe 100 times who owns what house, but she knows it now.
She knows them all. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. I'm sure she loves living in County Tyrone.
She does. We have her 2 daughters, and by this time, the time this podcast go live, I'd probably have our son born, and we're going into hospital now tonight. Pretty much.
What?
Yeah.
You are not.
We
are
indeed.
you literally watching your phone? At
Literally
the
from this.
Please tell me she's not in labour. You're going.
No, she's not yet.
Oh, thank goodness.
We're hoping the doctor can bring labour on tonight. This should be the plan.
Oh, how lovely!
Yeah.
And you know you're having a little boy this time.
Having a boy, and that's me.
So how do you find daddy duties and becoming a father yourself?
It's everything. It puts everything into perspective. Very lucky to have a supporting family, wider family, with my mother and father and their aunties and uncles. And then on Anya's side, it's the exact same. It's just hectic. You come home from a tough day's work, and they're standing at the window waving at you, and everything washes away, I suppose. You have to go in and play games and be happy.
It's going to get even more hectic.
It is, but that's the way we like it. Yeah.
So how do you feel after having 2 daughters, having a son this time?
It's going to be a bit of a change. I always, like most men say, they want a son. Of course I do want a son, but not to say I don't. But when your firstborn's a girl and they take over your whole world, that's you don't really mind whether it's a son or a daughter, as long as they're healthy.
And do you see the world from a different perspective when you become a daddy of a daughter, do you think?
I do, and our first daughter Ella she had some complications with a liver disease when she was born, or soon after. It changed everything. It changes your whole outlook on life. We had to fly to Birmingham. It was all a wee bit manic, but luckily she's doing much better now, and she's just like a normal child for the foreseeable, touch wood.
Well, when you go through something like that, it puts everything into perspective. I'm just wondering what your values are and whether those align with your company values.
Yeah, our values are really simple. We're normal people, as hopefully you've seen today. There's nothing fancy about us. We're not hiding behind anything. We're just normal people who understand our market. We understand our customers. It's like anything in business. A transaction has to be fair, and that's exactly what we want. We want our customers saying, yep, that's a fair price for a fair product. I don't want anyone ever to think they've got ripped off, and it wouldn't be in my nature to think, oh, I've ripped someone off. It's a happy medium for everyone, where everyone's happy to pay for their service.
That sounds like a very good value to have. Does Anya work in the business now?
Anya's looking after the wholesale, or not the wholesale, the hotel side of the business.
Ah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so we supply hotels mattresses. It's actually Irish contract beds. So we took over it quite recently. Anya's been building up the portfolio, trying to get in touch with old customers. We always sort of go to our flagship hotel would be the Titanic Hotel.
Ah, fabulous. I love the Titanic. I must have slept in one of your beds.
yeah, there we go. We were actually down in it last week doing a photo shoot, so we've quite a good relationship with the Titanic where we take our product down for photo shoots in the drawing room 1, which is an absolutely
super
fantastic.
Marketing.
Yeah.
If you're taking that elsewhere, I think, the whole Titanic story, everybody knows.
That's it. And it's a great experience. Even I took a few of the staff down just to give them the experience of the Titanic, to say, enjoy your day type thing. They loved it. They got bite to eat and got to see around them. It makes everyone happier.
So how did that come about that you thought we've got to get into the hotels?
There is a market in hotel business. It's a difficult market in that you never know when a hotel's going to actually need beds. You can't just phone up a hotel and say, do you need beds? It's just being present at the right time. I suppose when you look around and if in your way home, if you count the amount of buildings that need beds, it's pretty crazy when you see it, even in a small island like Ireland. Then you go somewhere like the UK and it's expanded tenfold.
Well, the tourism industry at the minute and at the time of recording this has gone boom, obviously, post-COVID, everybody's away. However, we are moving into a more uncertain time. We're being told we're hitting a recession and the cost of living crisis. How much do you worry about that?
Every market presents opportunities. One of my mottos would be control the controllables. We can't really control what's going to happen, but we can be in the best place to offer our customers the best product at the best price. It's like everything we've been through it before this, our generation probably. It is just how you deal with it. I think we've learnt from the past and we're in a pretty good place to attack it.
I suppose people are always going to need beds. It's one of those things. However, how long do you hold on to your bed for? I'm sure there are people that are maybe sleeping in the same bed that they've been in maybe since they got their first house. But, then we maybe saw people changing things up. But what would the advice be from the experts?
Yeah, well, we would recommend looking to change your bed every 5 to 10 years. Now, it depends on usage. Some people, there's 2 people in the bed. It can be more than 2 people in the bed. It just really depends on usage.
The mind boggles here. Yes, and you could have lots of little ones climbing all over the place and dogs and all sorts and everything going on.
That's it.
Okay, so you would recommend, and would that be the entire bed or would that just be the mattress?
Just the mattress, really.
What about turning the mattress?
So, there is turnable mattresses, obviously, which can be flipped, but we would recommend you rotate your mattress every 3 months minimum, that head to toe even, because customers and myself, even I'm a lot heavier than my partner, and if I lie in the one spot, it's like a sofa. If you sit there all day every day, it becomes conditioned to your body, we'll say. But it's the same as a mattress. If I'm much heavier than Anya, so where I'm lying is going to show my body print, but if we flip it around, it gets a wee bit of reprieve.
The technology, though, has advanced so much. Innovation, the memory foams, all the different, you'll be able to tell me some of them now, but, that springing back. Yeah. It's not like the mattresses from years ago where you got in and you maybe the springs were poking through and you were dragged into the middle of the bed or whatever. So it is incredible, the technology.
It is, and it's advancing all the time, but a lot of it is still very simple. It's pocket sprung mattresses are obviously the best, and then it's finding the best mattress for yourself. As we talked about earlier, it's not always the most expensive mattress. It's like a pair of shoes. Sometimes the most expensive pair of shoes can be extremely dear, but they're not very comfortable. It's the same as a bed. I have customers coming down who say, I want to buy the bed bed, and they don't even lie on it, they take it home with them. That's personal choice, whereas I would much prefer for someone to come down, try out a few mattresses, enjoy them.
Spend the night?
Well, yeah, possibly. But it would be more so find the best mattress for yourself.
What's the best night's sleep you've ever had? Where's been the best bed that you've ever slept in?
That's a very good question. I'm going to go back to the Titanic. I'm going to have to say the Titanic. I think it's just sometimes when you're away and you're relaxing, when there's no kids there. It's been very enjoyable. I'll also say the Villa Rose up in Ballybuffet. I remember after our second wee girl was born and things were a bit hectic and we got away for a night, and I can remember me and wife just laying down at the end of the night sleeping, just saying this is fantastic.
And when do you think you'll next get away?
That's a very good question. I'd say it will take a bit of time.
Oh my goodness. So you have so many things happening, a new baby arriving and a new baby in a new store. How excited are you about Newry?
Yeah, it's now getting to the exciting stage. I suppose we've been through a bit of the hard work at this stage. It's been full on. It's been a huge learning curve where we literally went to an empty shell, had an idea of what we wanted. Luckily, the guys in Newry have been fantastic, even coming here today. Everyone's been so welcoming. It's great to see how vibrant the community is, how good the people are. Like in the area already, we've used Grant Fit Out, who done all the work. Michael McCall is doing our signage work. These guys are not just doing work, but they're also giving us advice and putting us in contact with the relevant people of who you need to know in Newry. I was talking to Eamon from Bid today. The guys in the Keys, Cahill and his team, everyone's so helpful. It goes such a long way to really giving us confidence that we've made the right decision.
Well, absolutely. It's great to get that warm welcome. And do you plan to be here much yourself, or will that be?
I hope to get down at least
busy?
2-3 days a week, all being well. It is an hour's drive. It's just picking the right time of day to sneak off for a few hours and get back to the office.
Maybe you've got the business to such a stage now that you know you've got the right team in place to make sure that you don't have to be there all the time.
Yeah, and that's it. Look, working has changed for everyone across the world, I suppose. Retail, you still need people there, but this idea of this store is going to be more digital. As I said, customers, we want them to walk in and have a nice relaxing feel without being hounded to say, we need you to buy this bed. That's not what we're about. We want customers to go in, try the bed. If they want to buy there and then, perfect. If not, they can go home, they can order online. There's apps or iPads with the app on the store where they can purchase sitting there. We wouldn't even know they're in the store. It is a unique experience. That's what we're trying to give.
So talk me through the importance of marketing to your business. You mentioned Erin McGregor at the start of the interview. Now, Erin obviously is a public figure, celebrity in Ireland. I don't want to say just a sister of Conor McGregor, but that's been big for you.
It has, and as Erin is one of the most down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. We actually have a WhatsApp group, me, her and her brand manager, and it be good fun now, and with a serious times where we need to talk about work and what our plans are in the future. But she's the most bubbly person you'll ever meet, but she really loves this brand. She's been fully on board.
And how did you reach out to her? Why Erin?
It was through our communications company. I can actually remember going to the meeting and I said to myself, it's time to get this message, get our brand, let's get out across a wider platform. I want everyone nearly in Ireland to hear of who we are. I had a few names in my mind, and by pure chance at the end of the meeting, the guy said to me, we have Erin McGregor who we would like to approach. And I didn't really know Erin at the time, or didn't know of her, I suppose. I knew Conor had sisters. And I went on to her profile, and on her Instagram, I don't know if I've ever told this, but she had a message up about her and her husband, Terry, who they had just went out for dinner, and it was a very personal message about this. Obviously, their son, Harry, has difficulties, and she had a message up of how they just had mummy and daddy time, and I read it, and it was just after we had come back from hospital with our wee girl. I remember thinking she seems very relatable, so I got in touch with the communications company and said, let's have a meeting. And we actually went to the Black Forge Inn for the first meeting, and her other daughter, Taylor, walked in, and she stopped the meeting to talk to her daughter, which I thought was very personal, as she showed her real side. She was a mother first and then a business person after it. And from that moment, it was all systems go. We've been down a few times, Erin's come up a few times. We've really had good fun working on the different projects, and there is a few more to come.
That's lovely that you actually recognised the mother first before the businesswoman. I'm thinking years ago that would have almost been frowned upon, but maybe it just shows where we are in the world now.
That's it. It's the same I'm a dad first more than anything. If I got a phone call now I need to go home, this interview would be terminated.
You might. I'm trying to hurry through this. But yeah, family values really matter to you.
Oh, it does. It's our DFI is one family, our home family is the other family. Everyone from every person that works in part of the company, we are like a family. And for a lot of our workers who've travelled from overseas, who are Polish, Lithuanians, these guys, it means more to them than work. We're building a wee community in our factory. These guys have become friends who go and socialise together. It's fantastic to see, and hopefully long may it continue.
And how has working with Erin boosted sales for you?
It's been brilliant. Erin can't do enough. I know, I don't like even calling her an influencer because I don't know I've never asked her if she wants to be called an influencer, but Erin isn't one of these people saying to me, if I do this post, what am I getting? Erin just sends me a message and says, can I share that? Can I do this? I'm saying, Erin, you do whatever feels right for you. And she's more than happy to help. Being the business we are and trying to get her message out, she's been fantastic. We held an event, her launch event, and there was a lot of socialites there. I wouldn't have known a lot of them personally because I'm not really into Instagram, but it was a fantastic day for our brand, and it spread the message throughout Ireland, which is really what we want to do.
And she loves her bed?
She does love her bed. She's due a new bed now pretty soon. You can follow that on Instagram. She's looking people to help her pick which bed to get, I think.
Oh, lucky Erin.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody else listening to this who've perhaps, maybe shared the same skepticism, is that the right word, or unsure about influencers and what they will actually do, because some of them you have to spend an awful lot of money. What would you say to people? What advice would you give them when it comes to working with people?
The first thing is, please don't steal Erin on us. But I would say influencers, look, there's horror stories where we see these guys looking something for free, when they're looking at, influencers are looking about themselves almost. They're not doing the best thing for your business, would be my attitude. Luckily, as I've said, we have a company who sort of engages with the influencers on our behalf. If we're going to use someone, they have a good understanding of who is who. I see more and more probably on Instagram, different influencers popping up looking something from us. That's not what we're about. It was a big decision to use any influencer, but there is definitely a right message that you can get across, but it has to be agreed very much at the start that it's more for your company than the actual person themselves.
But the return on that investment has been good?
Yeah, the return, we can't really quantify it in the sense of it got us X amount. It was never about that. My aim was to get the message of who we are and what we do across, because long term that's much more important than saying, oh, we got 4 times return, 5, 10 times return. That to me wasn't overly important. It was, look, there is a better option out there.
So what's your current favourite product in store, online?
I would have to go with Ern's Taupe Harmony bed. It is fantastic. My mother had to recently get one. She came down to the factory and seen it, and that was it. She was sold on it. Now, I got to say, even looking at the photos online, it doesn't do it justice. Anyone who comes into our factory and sees the headboard or the base, straight away say that's the one I want. So
is that right?
I think in your area,
so your mummy won't be an influencer for you as well?
She wanted to be. She did send a few photos which we screenshotted, but I haven't shared them on her yet.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, I'm sure she's very excited about becoming a granny again soon as well, very soon. What's next for DFI Beds?
As I've said, we just keep looking forward. There's a lot going on. I've touched on, we're doing a brand rebrand. It's actually kicking off. It's pretty much kicked off already, step by step, but it'll be onto social media now in the next few weeks. We have a new website which will come live within the next few weeks as well. Obviously the shop's very close. We're going to start doing new products. I've got a new Ottoman bed coming on board, along with roll pack mattresses hopefully very soon. And again, just continue to build the brand as much as we can.
And what about jobs? If anybody was interested in working for you, are you hiring?
Yeah, especially in this local area. Just send a CV over to myself. The email to send it to is manager@dfibeds.com.
Oh, wonderful, Brian. It has been a joy talking to you today. I've loved your modesty, accompanying that brilliant story of success. But the purpose of this podcast is to inspire existing business owners and those ambitious entrepreneurs out there to grow their business by offering insight into the success of businesses such as DFI Beds. The big question, what advice would you give to people who may have a business idea but have no idea where to begin or are unsure as to whether the risk is worth taking?
My advice would always be the risk is worth taking if you've got the right idea or the right product. The one bit of advice I would give is, in Australia, the saying would have been, it'll be all right, mate. Over here, we sometimes say a little bit cruder, it'll do. Once you start saying that, it won't do. Because that usually you've got 95% of the way there. It's the final push that makes the idea to what it should be, and once you start skipping a corner or two, it can become pandemic, or I'm not even sure what the right word is. It can just spread through your business so quick.
So always strive for perfection.
Strive to do the best you can. It doesn't always have to be perfect, but it has to be the best you can do.
Great advice. I love that, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us on the Public Eye podcast. Thanks to you as well for tuning in, and I'll be back very soon for another fantastic episode. Bye-bye. This podcast was recorded in Granite Podcast Studio. Interested in starting up your own podcast but don't know how? Granite Podcast Studio can help. Record your podcast in our state-of-the-art studio, which is based in the heart of Newry City. Our studio has cutting-edge and user-friendly technology and can seat up to 4 people. We also provide an editing service for our team, using your guidance and editing notes to provide you with a flawless finished product, leaving your listeners wanting more. For more information on how you can get started, visit www.granitepodcaststudio.com.